Hey everyone, long time, no talk. I'm gonna wait to see if anyone comes in to make sure that my sound is okay. Should be. Hey girl. So, can you tell me if my sound is okay? Make sure I'm not echoing, there's no buzzing or anything. I hate having sound problems. Clear, no buzzing, just the clock ticking in the background. How are you guys? Good. I've missed you too. I've kind of been wanting to talk to you, but honestly, and I mean it's something I wanted to talk about, is I've been so just upset with everything that's going on in my country. You don't hear crickets, you hear a clock ticking. Minor background noise. Ugh. I hate that. Hold on 1 second, because I'm going to fix it. I know why. I put on a filter again. What about now? Filter, because I talk so low. People struggle to hear me, so is that better? I don't want any background noise. Stay right, stay white. Okay, white student transmission says sound is good. So how is everyone? I haven't been on for a little while. Horrible, thanks. Oh, Jason, thank you, Jason. You guys, I'm very shy. I get embarrassed very easily. If you only knew. A few towns over from my home has an active shooter right now. The church was burned down. So, and you're in Canada, so it's all over the world. I'll be honest with you guys, I received a video, and it said at the top, this is not Syria, this is not Iraq, this is America. And it was someone driving through America, and one of the, liberal shithole cities, and everything was on fire, and all of the stores were looted, the windows broken out, just people, just complete destruction. And no, I don't see it at all where I'm at. None of that. But how long until I do, And, it doesn't matter that it's not at my front door yet. What matters is I love my country. And, Julian Assange gave a speech years ago where he asked how many lives the media was responsible for taking because of their lies and their incitement to all of these type of things. And he called them out and told them that they have blood on their hands, and they do. When I saw that video, I just sat there and I just cried. And my daughter's 8, and she came out and she just said, why are you crying, Mom? And I showed her the video. And she said, where is this? Is this South Africa? I said, no, this is America. And she just looked at me like, she couldn't believe what I was saying, and she said, "Where are the police?" And it was just really sad to me because, I often say that, we're conditioned to safety. We don't know anything else. I am fortunate enough to be enlightened and have a greater sense of understanding of what's happening and what's coming because of what I do concerning South Africa. And, not just myself, but many people, my friend that's here that lives in Canada in the chat, often, tell people on social media, you're ignoring what's happening in South Africa, but this is coming. This is coming for us all over the world. And if you think it's not, you are delusional. And so I guess it's so disturbing because it is coming, and this is just proof that it's coming. I mean, it's been here a long time. Anyone who can't see it is blind. And I get really angry at my people of my ancestry, because, and I'm just going to be raw and uncut, guys. White people especially, not only white people, but white Americans especially, and I will speak on Americans because I am an American. The men, women, they have become so materialistic and self-serving, self-centered, selfish, who believe themselves to be above other people. And I'm not speaking on race, I'm just speaking on their arrogance in general. That they don't have time to see issues like this anywhere else. They don't have time for South Africa because we have our own problems. So they're so caught up in whatever they have going on and whatever kind of car they drive or expensive shoes that they wear or expensive purse that they carry. Those things have become more important than human lives. Literally. I mean, these are the things that people base their value on. And I believe that is a grave mistake, because no matter what religion you are, whether you are Norse pagan, whether you're Christian, I doubt that you will be judged by the car you drove, the shoes you wore, or the purse you carried when that time comes. And no matter what religion you are, there will come a day when you will have to stand and answer for the things you've done or the things you've not done. Yeah, it's not coming. It's here. It's been here. And I know you're in Canada. My last girlfriend was woke. Never, ever, ever again. Oh, Lord. I'm just cracking up because I know someone who is a conservative guy, and he was living in Austin, right? And he would speak to me about these girls that he was dating. So Austin, the Portland of Texas, and they were always like super liberal, but he's like got this beard, and he's like a manly guy. So I'm just cracking up because I'm like, even hardcore liberal feminists want a manly man, you know? And he just kept telling me that there was no way that he could marry any of those women because they were all insane. Good morning, Victor. Tough times make tough people, and that is the truth. So Victor's from South Africa. He says, I'm shocked to see how fast things are deteriorating in the USA. It's been happening from the 80s under the ANC. It's just become so much worse. They're using the same playbook in every Western country. Yeah. Seems like most women in Canada, they are too woke. I have a friend there. She's, I guess, considered not woke at all. She's conservative. But, man, they're brutal. I mean, even her kids are abused at school. I'm talking grade school children over, their mom being conservative. That's unacceptable. Yeah, Irish have had a rough go. That's one thing I say. Some guy told me that my tweet, which was all it was a page of my website, that was just meant to cause racial tension and hate. And I told him, absolutely not. I said, it was the victim page of my website. I said, this is unfortunately the truth. And it's meant to open people's eyes to what is happening to human beings in South Africa. Are black people being killed en masse? Yes, they are. Are they being killed because they're black in South Africa? No, they're not. Are they being killed by whites? No. Therein lies the difference. Are they being dehumanized and targeted, solely on the color of their skin? No. It's a different dynamic. And what I told him was that this is absolutely happening, and it's a problem that you think because you're of a different race, you're not obligated to, if you see the truth, to speak out against evil. And I'm just the type of person, even though I have very strong beliefs, if I saw the truth like that happening to another race of people, I would acknowledge it and speak the truth. I wouldn't sit there and with it in my face and say, this is a lie, it's not happening. That's wrong. And what it does is it discredits things that are happening to your own race when you're not willing to stand up for people of a different race when you see horrible things happening. It's called being diplomatic and trying to be a decent person. These are not protests, okay? And that's one thing I'm very, very upset about, is the media keeps calling these protests. These are rioting, looting, attacks, mob violence, and assault. No one says it better than Colin Flaherty. These are not protests. I saw a man in Dallas trying to protect his business be beaten and killed in the street because he was white. The kids from 1994 have been brainwashed. Now us old folks are busy dying out or been shoved into old age homes trying to hang on to our last days on earth. That's really sad. And I do know that this is a problem, but it all fits into the systematic plan. South Africa was the canary in the coal mine, and now we are all seeing it coming for us, But the indoctrination and the brainwash of the children, that is a must. That must happen for them to continue with this. Most despise the USA. Yes, I know, everyone despises it. But you stupid son of a bitch, if you live here, especially if you are a minority living in America, there's no other country in the world that you could go to and have the opportunities that you have in America. How many other countries do you know that have as many black billionaires as America? This is the land of opportunity. You can do or be anything you want to be, depending on how hard you're willing to work for it. And people think that this is such a horrible place and they have it so bad. I would love for them to leave and find a better place where they have more opportunity, and are treated more fairly than in America. It's a shame. They want our humiliation, submission, intimidation. This is about revenge. You know what? That's another thing. I'm very disgusted by this video of people kneeling and apologizing for their white privilege. I do not bow to dogs, period. I would rather be burned at the stake twice. Never will I apologize for having ancestors who literally created and built everything useful in the world today. Never. Because without my ancestors, there would be no civil society as we know it today. There would be, things would be much different. So I have a list of reasons they should be kneeling and thanking me, instead of me apologizing for what, I have no idea. The bad things in history, even in the USA, that happened to other minorities. I wasn't alive. I've never wronged any person. I've never owned a slave. I don't know anyone who's ever been a slave. And I'll be damned if I ever apologize for being born with the line of ancestry that I have. People that created civilizations and built kingdoms and were conquerors and were forging steel and building ships when others had never even thought of leaving the continent. They can kiss the widest part of my ass. Sorry. This video disgusts me. It makes me very ashamed. And I'm hoping that before we're all forced into a full-on war, that we weed out all of these beta males who will be completely useless. I mean, maybe we can put them on the front line and use them for collateral damage. I don't know. Those are definitely not any kind of men that are going to be defending me. I'm good. I've got it. Get behind me. Planes, trains, automobiles, phones, toilets, electricity, computers, nothing without the white man. Exactly. And I'm not trying to be rude or condescending. I feel that for you to ask me to apologize for the bullshit made up term white privilege is condescending, rude, and hateful. You know, it's not privilege for me to have SAT points taken from me because of my race. And it's not privilege for me for blacks to be given SAT score points based on race. Actually, quite the opposite. It's not privilege for me for blacks to have affirmative action. That's actually privilege for them. It's not privilege for me to not be able to choose to live in an all-white neighborhood without some stupid son of a bitch like Obama bussing in and putting in housing developments for people that have completely different moral and value systems than my whole community, and putting their children into the schools, forcing them to go to school with the children in my community. That's not privilege for me. That's privilege for you. It's not my fault that you have every opportunity in the world, but you choose not to work as hard. Sorry. There are plenty of black Americans that are very successful, have great educations, and have gone on to be whatever they want to be. There are also people whose job is, and there are white people like this too, but their job is to live off of welfare. Okay, if that's how you choose to live, fine. But I shouldn't be forced to have my children go to school with people who can't even afford to live in the same neighborhood. They are placed there by the government. It's bullshit. That's privilege. It's not privilege for me. In South Africa, I can promise you white privilege is for sale cheap. I know some who would be willing to just give it away. Apparently it's a thing there too, even though there are something like 162 laws against whites only, keeping them from gaining employment because they're white. That's not any kind of privilege that I want to have. I do have a privilege. It is the privilege of being able to not lock my doors at night and my children to be able to sleep safely. It's not white privilege. It is privilege because there are men and women who fought and died to give me that safety, and I'm not yet attacked to a degree that I have to live like white folks in South Africa. That I consider a privilege, and I feel very guilty over, because some of them do not sleep. And I also have the privilege of being a woman. I've never in my life felt that men have more opportunity than me or privilege than me. Actually, quite the opposite. Because I'm a woman, I feel that I have much more privilege than the evil patriarchy, or whatever you want to call it. And I like making sandwiches, so And I make good sandwiches, by the way. Yeah, they definitely have something planned. One good thing, guys, is that the president has declared Antifa a domestic terrorist organization. And this may not seem that important, but it is. And some people may say, well, why not just use the laws that you have against them? Well, because if they are labeled a domestic terror organization, that opens the door to go after the people who fund them, because they are supporting terrorists. Who supports Antifa the most? The Open Society Foundation and George Soros. Yeah, what is happening to my country is a complete disgrace. I am ashamed. I'm horrified when I watch the news and hear of the destruction of my country being called a protest. That is not a protest. That is a violent uprising to destabilize a society. The same thing that happened in South Africa. The same exact thing that happened in South Africa with the People's War. They want to disband police. This is funny, being that, places like Chicago, Baltimore, they wanted the police out of their neighborhoods. People complained they didn't want white police in their neighborhoods. Eric Holder, racist asshole that he is, criminal, and Obama, racist asshole that he is, criminal, who targeted conservative nonprofit organizations and religious organizations with the IRS, and locked up people speaking against him, such as Dinesh D'Souza. Make me sick, because they took the police out of these neighborhoods. Well, guess what? Now these people are begging for the police to come back in, because the murder rate has gotten worse. It's like a war zone. Not quite as bad as South Africa, but getting there very quickly. Yeah, the Hollywood star, all of these people donate money to these. I'm trying not to curse, guys. I'm really trying. But these people are just plain evil. I mean, what is the end game? What is your goal? What are you seeking to accomplish by claiming to be an anti-fascist, yet out in the streets assaulting innocent people for no reason, pulling them out of their cars, beating them, destroying minority-owned businesses, looting? How is that anti-fascist? I'm just so confused by this. I say the same thing. Take the police out. If they don't want the police, it's fine. Take the police out. Let the police stay in my neighborhood. I want to be safe. And we'll see how long they last. We're going to have to put a huge fence around it where nothing can get in and nothing can get out. I love my country, but I'm ashamed of my government. I hear you. A lot of the donations for Antifa are coming from synagogues. You guys know I don't like to speak on this. And I read something today, guys. It was a meme. It said something like, white lives matter too, but we don't feel the need to shove it down your throats. And I'm at the point where I do. I almost do. I'm so sick and tired of having this bullshit delusion, Mad Hatter Tea Party shit shoved down my throat that I'm ready to start fighting fire with fire. Vincent James, the Red Elephant. I don't know him. I spoke to Jason. I'm supposed to go on with him to speak about some of this stuff. I spoke to him the other day. Oh, and by the way, if you guys missed the No White Guilt, I'm not sure which channel, if it was on No White Guilt or The Great Order, but they did an interview with Traditional Mike from Australia, who's a friend and a great, great person, and just probably one of the just kindest, just great guys that I have ever met. He's from Australia, and he does a lot for South Africa. And they had him on yesterday, I believe. Anyway, it was a great interview. He spoke about Annette Keneally's murder. She was a farm murder activist and a very well-known figure in South Africa. And she was very outspoken on social media. She also had a great knowledge of the law. So this was really a useful tool in fighting. And she was murdered on her farm with she was beaten to death with a metal pole and a hammer. And this was a huge blow to the entire cause of, the white minority in South Africa. To see that something like that could happen to her is just devastating. But this was a great interview, a great talk. You guys should watch it. Our concerns are small. Okay, I'm not saying all of our concerns are small, but I am saying compared to an actual genocide taking place, children being slaughtered, gang raped, tortured, their hands and feet burned with blowtorches, drilled, their knees drilled, set on fire, babies, infants, women being gutted, crucified, their heads being cut off. There's no problem in America or anywhere in the world that is great enough to think that your problems are more important than someone else's. No, absolutely not. There's no problem that's big enough to ignore those kind of things being done to people. No problem. None. I mean, that's literally a crime against humanity. To ignore that is to be complicit at best. If you know it's happening and you think that somehow you are more important and your problems are more important, you're wrong. Because, I look at it like this. What makes my children more important than theirs? What makes me and, whatever I'm going through more important than what's happening to them? I don't even lock my doors at night. I don't fear my children being kidnapped, raped, and tortured. So, no. And, it just all boils down to humanity. And for someone to tell me they don't have time to care about this, about people being, a whole entire ethnic group of people being wiped off the face of the planet, really shows me how big of an asshole that they are. Because you don't have time to care? Really? Okay, so when it comes for us, the people that didn't have time to care, they should get out in front and they should be first. Marxists don't like private property. You know, Dr. Stanton said at the end of his press conference about farm murders, he, is a retired constitutional attorney. And it's why at the end of the compilation video that I made, I put up the amendment to the Constitution to allow for the seizure of white-owned land, not only land, but property, anything they want, really. I put that document up while he was speaking on this. And what he said is, once you lose your rights to own property, you have nothing. You have no power because they've taken everything, the government. That is a right that you should hold on to at all cost. Yeah, it's premeditated. They pass laws to omit race, color from the records so there's no evidence of what they did. And they're leaving a redacted record for the next generation. That is true. Obama, they didn't report a lot of statistics on race for a couple of years. And I believe now that we are reporting murders and things again with the Department of Justice by demographics, because it does matter. It does matter who's committing the crime. Especially when one group is committing the vast majority of violent murder and crime. And just like in Sweden, I have a friend from there. I believe that they don't even report rapes based on the ethnic group of people committing the rapes, which we all know who that is. It's considered racist. So the best statistics we have to go by are Switzerland, and it's not as bad there. Yeah, I completely know that they can end up, I just said that they can end up on my doorstep. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be here speaking about this. I just happen to live in rural Texas where I don't see any of this because people wouldn't live long enough to start the fire. Okay? They would be blown off of people's property. People don't put up with that shit here. And even if we didn't have the right to shoot them, which we do, they would do it anyway. And there would be a well-organized militia. So I'm very sad because I do see it coming here. It's already in Texas, in Austin, and it's breaking my heart. Honestly, it's killing me because we're it. If we fall, there's nothing left. I mean, we are the last watchdog in the world, the last people who care about other people, who have great power in numbers. And I believe we have a responsibility to use that while we still have it. I know, Linda, they are planning to take the pension money. They've been planning this. And I do fear it. If I didn't fear it, I wouldn't be speaking about it. But as I said, just because you're in Minnesota where, there's rioting and stuff taking place, doesn't mean that if you see the full truth of people being, your people especially, being slaughtered, children, women, that is an excuse to ignore it, because it's not. You know what? I have a ton of my own issues, a ton of things that I worry about, but I also care for my people enough to deal with it and manage to do it all, you know? Because what other choice do I have? I'm not going to sit back and ignore what's happening to them. I don't bow to dogs, and I don't plan to sit back and watch my people be forced to do it either. I'm going to fight until there's nothing left to fight for. You're coming to live with me. Come on, girl. Hi, Bianca. I've got to get out of this city. Yeah, you should get out of the city if you have the ability. This is better than Trailer Park Boys. What is that supposed to mean? I mean, are you insinuating that all people that are concerned with attacks on white people live in trailer parks? I don't, but even if I did, what does it matter where I live? It's absolutely happening. And I'm not so shallow that I would judge a person by what kind of house they lived in or where they lived anyway. Difficult times in life have made me the person that I am. I haven't had an easy life. I've had a very, very rough and eye-opening life. But I wouldn't change a thing, because, you know, hardship makes you strong. I didn't know his funeral was closed casket. I haven't been watching the news because it just disgusts me. Oh, it's just a TV show. You didn't mean an insult. My bad. Listen, I'm attacked all the time, so I'm just automatically have some shit to say back. A bit late, but morning. Hey, Malcolm. Hey, Dino. Attack on White America is Yeah. So, I am beside myself. I saw a kid. I also saw another kid getting out of his car, asking people to move so that he could pass. He wasn't being rude or anything. Of course, he was attacked. You know, like I said, guys, I do live in a very rural area. I don't see any of these things happening. You know, my mom drives a diesel dually Duramax Chevrolet, huge. She has a pistol on her dashboard. You know, and she's kind of the mindset that I am. If you try to pull me out of my vehicle, you wouldn't be wise to get in front of my vehicle, around it, or anywhere, because if you do, you're going under it or you're getting shot. And I don't care about the consequences. Damn the consequences. I remember the LA riots. I remember the truck driver, the helicopter videoing the guys just splitting his head like a watermelon, you know, pulling him out. It's not happening. I may back over you too if you get in front of my vehicle and try to stop me. But I'm telling you, my mother is not stopping. You will get dragged, shot, whatever, backed over, and neither will I. Before you put your filthy paws on me, I will run you over, and whatever the consequences for that are, so be it. Thank you, White Student Transmission. I'll see you later. Stay safe. Yeah, we still have the numbers in most of our countries. Many whites are red pilled to some extent. It's a matter of getting organized and taking action at this point. Exactly. And part of taking action, not all wars are fought on the battlefield. But it seems like we're already in a war, but only one side knows it. Because white people are so brainwashed, stupid, or I don't know what. I get very mad because, like I said, it's like they care more about their purses and shoes and cars than they do about what they leave behind for their children. It just makes no sense. But so the start of that is tell the freaking truth. Stop calling these attempts to overthrow a country mass violence and looting and chaos and murder protest. These are not protests. These are planned, systematic attempts to destabilize a country, which is a crime. Thank you, just in. I appreciate it. Sorry. Post statistics at every opportunity. I do. But, like, in South Africa, statistics don't matter. Neither does historical facts. For example, if you try to have civil discourse with someone who is completely brainwashed and you try to recite historical facts, you need to be raped, you're racist, white supremacist, and history cannot be trusted because it was written by the white man. Yes. For real. So you can't have a rational conversation with an individual who is not capable of rational thought process. Oh, the EFF just decided it was okay to march for George, who is also a criminal and a porn star, by the way, guys. I can't make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up. I'm not saying that is grounds for someone to be murdered, but I honestly haven't been watching the news. I didn't see what happened, and I don't trust the media. So if the media tells me he did nothing wrong and he was murdered, go to hell. They're probably lying, and I don't believe it. And it's their own fault. I don't believe it. The animal who killed a retired St. Louis police officer in last week, no riot, no protest, no Black Lives Matter. Why? Because this scumbag killed an ex-police officer who also happened to be black. Yes, this is a perfect example. If Black Lives Matter to Black Lives Matter, why do they not march in Chicago when an innocent 3-year-old black girl trying to do her homework at her kitchen table with her grandmother is shot and killed in a drive-by shooting? from stray bullets. They didn't march for her. Why do they not march for black police officers that are killed? Or law-abiding black citizens that are murdered by other, black gang members or whatever it may be? Because it doesn't fit their agenda, and the agenda is not really Black Lives Matter. The agenda is to attack everything in the country that keeps, law and order in civil society. May it be the police, the government, whatever, and demonize them. If that is attacking white people, to demonize them, that's the goal. But it's not really about black lives, or they would be marching for these innocent black people that are killed, not proven criminals who the media made out to be, something totally opposite. Steven Crowder mentioned how they always use a guy with a criminal record and walk around saying their name. You don't see white people marching around saying, "We're Jeffrey Dahmer." No, we don't. And, twice as many white people are killed by police every year. But we're not tearing shit up, looting, rioting. Actually, it's mostly because we have to work to support the people who go out and loot and riot. So we don't have time to do shit like that. And it's not useful. And we want jobs. Fentanyl Floyd. I'm cracking up. The country is being dictated by a mere 13%. That's what I said. It's probably 14 now, but so 13 to 14% of the population is doing this much damage to a country. The same 13 to 14% of the population that commits 53 to 54% of all murder in America. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. No, I've not seen the cost of diesel. Actually, gas is really cheap where I'm at. Floyd should have still been safe in prison for that home invasion. I agree. If you do a home invasion, you should never get out of prison. I mean, that's basically the same thing as a farm attack, just without the twist of torture. Oh, the Floyd video. Diesel fuel is 99 cents a gallon. Oh my God. So that was like 25 years ago. Yeah, and we don't side with criminals. So we should tell the truth no matter who's doing the crime or who the crime is being done to. Acknowledge it, tell the truth, And right now, the truth is, we are not the problem. We are not the one killing black people in mass. We're not the ones killing white people in mass or any other race. Do white people commit crimes? Yes. I'm not saying that. Do white people murder people? Yes. Are there a whole shitload of white serial killers in the past? Absolutely. But the statistics don't lie, okay? And the white on black murder rate is so small, it's basically non-existent. The same with rape. Yet, when you turn it around, it's a huge problem. So, if facts say this is the group of people committing the violent crime and rape and other things against every other group, why the hell are we made out to be the people committing these mass atrocities? It makes no sense. It's completely untrue. It's a lie. And who the hell would believe it? Who's ever seen it? Ever? In Ireland, blacks are 1% of the population, yet are 8% of the prison population. Yeah, that's crazy. That's the same thing like in America. Okay, so they complain that they are imprisoned at a higher rate than whites. Okay, you're 13% of the population. You commit 53% of the murder. And, there are more men in the prison system than there are women. And that's not because the criminal justice system is sexist. Why is that? It's because men commit more crime. And speaking of Ireland, I get sick and tired of hearing about how bad slaves were treated because, the Irish there were more Irish slaves in America than not only in America, but in America especially, than blacks. They were treated horribly and really have something to bitch about, yet you never hear one Irish person asking for reparations and I'm Irish, okay? I'm Irish Scots, Dutch, German, Scandinavian. You don't hear Irish people complaining, that they just are hardworking and they just got up, pulled up themselves by their bootstraps and, went on about their business. But if you really want to get technical, these people have a legit complaint. And something horrible that happened to them. But we don't ever talk about the Irish being enslaved. They're white, so it doesn't fit the narrative. Drew Brees' wife is a fucking idiot. Factual evidence shows who is committing the crime. I don't know. Facts don't matter. People don't have any fucking sense. It's like the more educated people become, the more stupid they are, the more irrational, and the more delusional. I swear, guys, I feel like I am sitting at the Mad Hatter Tea Party, and everything is opposite and upside down, and nothing makes sense. Well, good. Drew Brees' wife can be, when they start coming to their door, we'll just throw her out in front of everybody else, so they can take her first. Moving to Poland. That's what I said. Poland. Yeah. Exactly. The Polish Prime Minister actually, when the EU was trying to make Poland take all of those migrants in, and they would not. I actually watched a speech that he did that said he would take the sanctions because the sanctions were better for his people than letting in all of those migrants. And he stood his ground. And I thought that was... I spoke to someone from Poland who said that, this is one thing that they really listened to the people about. The people did not want that. And, they stood their ground on it. And there haven't been any terror attacks in Poland. Drew Brees spoke his mind, got attacked. Bar owner defended his business, got attacked, killed the attackers, and here comes Black Lives Matter. We can't defend ourselves, we can't speak our minds. We can. As I said, we have power in numbers, but only in numbers. So I'm telling you, if someone tries to come in my home, they're getting blown back out the door. Damn the consequences. I don't care how many fucking Black Lives Matter scumbags show up. I'll shoot them too. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care about the consequences. You're not putting your filthy hands on me, on my children, or making me feel that my life is in jeopardy anywhere, especially in the state of Texas, because I have the right to shoot you wherever you stand, no matter where that may be. And I will run your ass over if you try to stop my vehicle. I don't care. Prosecute me, do whatever you want to do. I don't give a damn. And I don't care about being ridiculed. Call me whatever you want, but you won't call me a traitor. So I'd rather be called any of those other things than to abandon my people and to be a liar or a coward. Yes, we also have power in the fact that we are smarter and stronger. If more people would just wake the fuck up before we all die, and use their minds. As I said, not all battles are fought on a battlefield. Use your mind. Use your brain. You know, I know the dynamic is different in South Africa. So, you know, they can't do what we can do in America. You know, we can say whatever we want. We can stand up for ourselves. You can call me a white supremacist all day long. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. But it has different consequences there if they say certain things, you know. I mean, they literally could be murdered in broad daylight in the middle of the street with a freaking bonga. It's crazy. So I don't want that to be my life. I don't want to live like that. I feel horrible for anybody who does. And it doesn't have to be true, you know? So that has really made me where I don't care about speaking the truth. You can call me whatever you want. The truth is the truth. I don't say it out of hate or ill intent. I say it because it's the truth. And I'm sick and tired of people putting this delusion and complete fabrication of facts, I don't know what the hell you would call it, out as if we as white people are the perpetrators of all of these crimes and murders. That is a lie. The perpetrators have become masters at playing the victim because we have allowed it, because we are so kind. We don't want to be called names. We don't want to be labeled a racist. We don't want to be ridiculed or any of that stuff. That is the problem. And unless we stop caring about that and start fighting them in the same way they fight, which is dirty, nothing's going to change. Hey, video bar. Wrong channel. Whose channel were you trying to go to? How can we fight when we censor ourselves? You know, I censor myself somewhat, but I don't do it for myself. The things I censor myself from saying, I do for the good of people who don't have the freedoms that I have, who cannot say the things that I say, who can be charged with treason or go to jail. And if I say them, it gives ammunition to the people who can bring that down upon them. So any censoring of myself that I do, this is the sole reason that I do it. Or because it can do nothing but harm. And I definitely, my whole goal is to help, not hurt. But you're definitely right. I believe that it is not useful just to speak hate for the sake of speaking hate. You have to be smart. You have to use your mind. You have to be strategic, because they are. So it's not a useful tool to just be hateful for the sake of being hateful, right? So if you are speaking on a fact, and I mean, it's actual facts and there's a reason for it, then yeah, there's a use for it. But if you're just doing it to be hateful, it doesn't help anyone. Quite the opposite. It makes us look like everything they say about us is true. Racist is a made-up word. Honestly, to be racist is just to care about your race. I mean, in my eyes, and this is the most natural human instinct in the world. It's how civilizations of people have survived since the beginning of time, by sticking together and caring for their people, their tribe, whatever you want to call it, their clan. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean you hate anyone else. It just means that you have a very natural instinct ingrained in your DNA, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Brewster, I totally agree with you. So this is interesting. So someone just said, it still blows my mind when you said on Patriotic Weekly Review that 50% at least of South African whites still haven't woken up. Oh, they're woke. They're woke. They're so woke that they are members of the EFF, and they wear red berets and go to EFF rallies, and they protest for the seizure of white-owned land. And they get on their knees and apologize for white privilege, whatever that means. Yeah, it is pretty shocking, but the same way that people in America and other countries and our children are being indoctrinated and brainwashed, it's been done to, the 10th degree there. So, I mean, it was a full-on attack. And as someone said it perfectly earlier, that the children of 1994 have been completely brainwashed. The new generation is just completely brainwashed for the most part. Good morning, Golden Sheep. Right. So Pierce Taylor says, I guess all words are made up, but racist and racism are words designed to be used as weapons against our people. And that's right, as propaganda. Racism. Yeah, the person I speak to in Poland, he told me that they don't even ever, I mean, the word's not even ever used. Like, they don't, there's no such thing. The other side of the kosher sandwich. That's good shit. So, I have ranted, guys, for a while now. I haven't been on, so I'm just really frustrated with a lot of things, and sickened by my own people, really sickened by the blindness and the just refusal to have the guts to stand up and tell the truth. Most people would rather be accepted than do the right thing. And I think that a lot of these people that say all this bullshit, they don't believe it. They know it's not true. I mean, they can't be that stupid. They would just rather be accepted because they're weak-minded, weak people, than do the right thing, the natural thing, the thing ingrained in your DNA, and that is to stand up for your people, fight for them. It's pathetic. And you guys remember on Sparta what they used to do with the babies that were deformed or had mental illness or whatever? That's what should be done with all of these white liberals in South Africa and the people in America who care more about being liked than they do the survival of their people and the future for their children. They should, the same thing should be done to them, or should have. Right? They took the history of the war out of history books and changed the criminals as heroes, something you'll see in your city. Yeah. Oh, they've already started doing this, tearing down our Confederate statues and stuff. And, you know, they can't change history. It's still there. So be thankful there are people that, like Jan Lamprecht and many other people, who will not let them get away with this. There will be recorded history of the truth, no matter how much they try to erase it. It is jealousy, it is envy, it is failure, it is seeing accomplishments that you can never do yourself. And people hate what makes them feel small or inadequate. This is why they try to erase your history. They're not Iranian. They're not racist and evil, and people are just stupid. They just speak on things when they don't have a clue what they're talking about. If he actually did some research into Irania, he would see that the people there just wanted to live in peace and without crime. Can you blame them? No, I don't. There's not many white South African liberals. Are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. Because the funniest part is all of the attacks that I have come under from South Africa. And listen, it would take 2 years for me to tell you all the disgusting things that have been done to me have been from white people, white liberals. Right. And this is one thing that I was talking about when I said when I do censor myself, it's for the good of other people who don't have the freedoms I do. So people in South Africa, and I actually know someone firsthand who, all these people that attack people like me and white South Africans, all they had to do was tweet out to her employer that she liked a comment on a post on Facebook comparing black people to baboons. She absolutely did not. I have proof that she didn't because I had a screenshot of it. But it didn't matter. She got fired anyway from her job. And this is a problem because people, even speaking the truth, that live there, the goal of these people is to destroy their lives, get them fired from their jobs, have them put in jail if they can, and it can be for what we as Americans consider the smallest thing, and they could lose everything for it. It's ridiculous. But that's okay, because I started doxing them back, and so they were hiding behind fake profiles and pictures, but most all of them go by their real name on social media now, and I'm very happy about that. I just started doing to them what they do to others. Turns out the one attacking us the most has actually been in the South African Human Rights Commission for hate speech before. The one Digandra Naidu, the Indian that used to pretend to be a white farmer to put out the false narrative that everything's fine. I slept on a farm last night. Yeah, how much lower can you be? I mean, snail shit isn't even that low. Turns out he's not a farmer. He is an Indian little scumbag who hates white people. And to hate white people so much, especially white women, is a very unhealthy obsession with me. Yes, we all do need to stand together, no matter where we are, in Europe, South Africa, America, everywhere. People need to realize that we do still have power in numbers, and we don't have to agree on everything, but we do need to find a common ground and come together as one voice to fight this, because right now we're allowing it. People getting on their knees and apologizing for some bullshit term that's not even real is the opposite of coming together, because you are not my people. I can't find common ground with you. You should be shot like a traitor. Those people I can't find common ground with. Anyone else I can find a common ground with. But we all need to come together and support each other. And definitely, as I was saying earlier, never think that we are more important than another person. Just because we have problems does not mean that our problems are more important than someone else's. And if we see things happening to people, we need to speak up, and we need to support them, and we need to come together. Because only then can we say, enough, we're not taking this shit, and it's going to stop. It doesn't mean stand back and let it happen because, it's not happening to me, because it is going to happen to you. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, we need to agree that we want to survive. For me, survival of my people is non-negotiable. And I will fight to the death for this. Thank you. My voice is soothing. A lot of people complain because I speak low, but it's just the way I speak. I can't help it. Yes, I do listen to Jan. I actually speak to Jan. He is a friend. He has a wealth of knowledge. I know he's considered radical, but, some things, the way that they are said, it's for shock value, but it's always the truth. I can promise you that. Jan knows exactly what he's talking about. And speak up, Brandy. So, I was saying, some people may not like, on a personal level, Jan Lamprecht, just like people don't like Donald Trump. But, some of the titles that he gives things, it's for shock value. But if you really listen to what he's saying, or take the time to read what he writes, it's the truth, and you won't be able to argue with the truth. So even though he's maybe offensive to some people, I find the truth very refreshing, and I like him very much. And I may be speaking with him here sometime in the near future. We've been talking about some stuff, but he's very busy. I would actually love to have him on and speak to him, because he is a wealth of knowledge, and he is a very brilliant mind, and he can give insight from a perspective that some people would definitely understand and connect with, because he holds back nothing. And I hope to have him on, to have a conversation with him, so that people outside of South Africa can hear some of the things that he's saying. And I don't care if you don't like him. We don't have to like the same people. I do. And I think he's brilliant. And I don't care that he's offensive. He doesn't offend me. The sooner we get there, the sooner we get there. Anyways, guys, this has gone on for so long. I was not planning this. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here. It has been wonderful talking to you guys. I'm going to really try to come on more. I'm sorry. Canada, call me. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. This is the first ASMR stream. What's ASMR? Am I just stupid or what? I've ever liked. Thank you, Piers. I appreciate that very much. 2 wars will start. Second American Civil War and war with China. Yep, I agree. Take care too. Not looking pretty, but you know what, guys? I believe that we will persevere. We just have to slap some of our people in the face, upside the head, and shake them until their brain almost comes out of their ear, because they have to wake up. And if you care about a future for your children in America, and you, or any other country, and you don't want to suffer what white South Africans suffer as far as their children having not much of a future right now, no matter how much education they have, not being able really to go outside and go down and play with their friends because they'll be kidnapped. You better wake up, and you better see what's coming for your children. And thank you guys too. It's okay, Faith. You'll have to replay. It's good to see you here, though. But I'm going to try to get some sleep, guys. But thank you so much. And everyone just stay safe and we all do what we can, I guess. So I will be here. I'm going to try to start coming on more and having more people on. So I will talk to you guys soon, and stay safe, and I'll be thinking of you. Bye-bye, guys.